Eve in the Dallas Cowboys. I am Jeff Cavanaugh,
Gavin!
alongside your favorite former Cowboys wide receiver, the great, beautiful Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
Jesse, there's something I have to tell you.
Oh, I'm listening. I'm all ears.
I am super excited that we are brought to you by Bet Online, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first-to-market odds and lines. We told you last week the Cowboys were going to pull it off, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I hope everybody got rich and didn't listen to me the week before. But Bet Online is awesome. Every league, MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, golf. They're the top online resource for all your sports information from live in-game betting, props, and futures. And if you head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join and make that first sports bet, use our promo code BELIEVE50, BLEAV50. Get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. Jesse's out at the Star. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. Yeah, down here just double dipping as always. You know.
Do you have the inside scoop for us? Is there a scoop?
No, nothing scoopy down here. Nothing scoopy down here. Just normal run-of-the-mill stuff. Ready for Washington.
Daniel says, "Yo, Jeffrey, why aren't you at Pluckers?" I just was. I came home to do the show with Jesse, and then I'm going to go right back to Pluckers.
I might stop through. I have to come past where you guys are going to be, so I might stop through. I might get me a 12-piece. You know?
I'll be there at a 12. I think they do it by 10s. I just had 10. Do 5, 10.
I might get a piece though.
I bet if you ask for 12, they'll make it happen. Pluckers doesn't F around. Yeah, I'm gonna go back up there for my 4:00 hit on 97.1 The Eagle. It's just something that I tend to do from time to time. It's a radio station that I thoroughly enjoy, and so there's that. Cowboys are gonna play the Commanders this week, Jesse, and in trying to look around to preview this thing, I almost feel like it's kind of a repeat of last week, where you're going, well, they have their starting quarterback. And that's nice. But, man, I'm looking at your team and going, I expect my team with the backup quarterback to beat you. I expect Cooper Rush to be the first Cowboy to ever start 4-0 as a Cowboy starter. Is that wrong? Are we getting too cocky?
No. Like, I want everyone to feel as cocky as you. Like, I want everyone to walk in crotch first.
Okay.
And not overlook this game, though. Like, don't overlook this game. Walk in crotch first. Like, these are the type of games that you got to come in early in these football games and assert your dominance. Like, the Washington Commanders are looking for a reason to quit. They are. They really are. Like, but if you don't give them a reason to quit, they'll just keep hanging around. And that's when it gets a little bit scary for you. But I promise you, they're looking for a reason to be like, point the finger, quit, yell, bicker, moan. All. That's what bad football teams do. So give them every reason early in this football game. But, hey, by the time we get back home, it'll still be daylight outside. You know, we'll get back home probably 8-ish, whatever it may be. I may be able to still go out somewhere late on the night and get some drinks. Like, give them a reason to start thinking about post-game plans with their families. Don't give them a reason to be like, hey, we actually can win this football game. Because if you do, they have the names that could make a play or two. Like, they have the names like Samuels. They have the names like Jahan Dotson. They have the names like Scary Terry, right? And as bad of a decision maker as is Carson Wentz, he's really a bad decision maker, like and comprehension from the quarterback position. There's still something in there that he might be able to like fling one out there for a big completion. You know what I mean? Like if you hang around long enough, like he has 200-300-yard passing games this season.
Yeah, I think you go back to week 1 when they beat the Jaguars in the fourth quarter, and it was the most Carson Wentz quarter I think I've ever seen. Where I think it was early in the fourth, where he did one of his, it's not there early, so my brain just explodes and I have no idea what to do but I'm
Right.
not going to throw it away. I'm going to spin in circles and do something stupid. And then he throws a terrible pick. And I think I even typed like, oh my God, Wentz is wincing harder than he's ever winced.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next 2 drives, he drops dimes for touchdowns and they come back and win. And I'm like, and there's the other part of him. Carson Wentz has the ability here.
Yes.
In this arm, in these legs, he has the ability. Right. But if you can take away what he wants early, this is a problem. He does not know how to go throw it away, live to fight another down. He just doesn't know how.
And that's so unfortunate because, to your point, the physical tools are there. Like, just the bare physical tools are absolutely there. At times, you wish, like, you know what? I would love to take that arm and maybe put it on our quarterback.
Sure. I mean, I think Wentz is probably a better athlete than Dak now.
Yeah. But this part is I don't know, stew peas. I don't know. It's so bad. Like when you watch it, I watched the game and you sit there and you go, you feel bad. I find myself sometimes being like, why did you do that? Like, why are you still holding on to the football? Just throw it away. No, he's open. All right, never mind. Like it's just guys will like run open, like right in front of his face and like, hey, just take the 8-yard completion right there in front of you. And maybe he go get 10, 12, 15. And he'll be like a shake weight. You're like,
and then it all shuts down. Then it all shuts down.
And then he's sacked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my concern.
Yeah, so that's Carson Wentz in a nutshell. And like there is very much good. He could absolutely have a day where he throws for 303 touchdowns. It's just a matter of, does he also take 6 sacks and 2 really stupid plays? And so for the Cowboys, I would think that the most important thing is, like, I know there are crazy people out there who are like, oh my God, Cooper Rush is playing great. And if he never loses, they should leave him in. Like the Cowboys are scoring 15 points a game. Now Dak was a 3-pointer. So I guess Rush is scoring like 20 points a game. That's not good, but he's doing everything you could ask a backup quarterback to do in terms of a couple of scoring drives. And to me, the most important thing, very few, if any, sacks and not turning the ball over. Like that's all I need is, can you continue to do that? And I'll let Wentz score 2 or 3 touchdowns with a couple turnovers. And then we'll make those work. We'll never turn it over. And that will be enough to get us home 24-20. And that's all you got to do.
Like, and for defensively for us, this is one of those games where you're doing everything in your power this week in preparation physically to get to the game. Like I'm making sure, because I want to be so ready defensively. When you cut on the film, you're like, I can have another 3-sack game. I can have a pick 6. There can be a touchdown in this thing for me because he's going to fumble. And we're going to get a strip sack fumble. Like, I am doing everything in my power to be like, hey, I'm stretched out good, no soft tissue prop, because I want to be as fast as I possibly can because Carson Wentz is going to give it up to you. Like defensively, I'm trying to get all the reps I can. I don't want to be a part of no rotation because I don't want to miss the chance. I don't want to miss my Pro Bowl chance. Like this can honestly be someone's Pro Bowl. This can be Dorrance Armstrong's Pro Bowl game. Like he can go out there and get 3 sacks and be like, already 4 games have 5 sacks. Now you start talking about at the end of the year, this is a dude who has 9, 10 sacks, and he's in the conversation now for going to the Pro Bowl. Like, this is a Pro Bowl pad your stats moment. This is the moment when you're in high school and you're like, are we playing that booty juice team? Oh, I'm definitely going 10 for 150 and 3 touchdowns. Just throw that thing to me. This is the game. This is the game defensively. You're like, oh, I'm going to get me a pick. Oh, I'm going to get me a sack. I'm going to get me a strip sack fumble. So, that's the part about defensively. The pressure that he's getting ready to see is going to be stupid.
Mitchell in the super chat, shake weight Wentz. Haha, love the content. Thank you, Mitchell. And Eric, was D-Law's 3-sack game because they're focused more on Parsons, or was Parsons really showing that he wasn't 100%? I think based on the context clues I've gathered from Parsons after that game, I think Parsons had a hard time being hydrated because I think Parsons, the days leading up to that, had the poops. I think that's the sort of sickness that he had, that things that he put in his body were quickly removing from his body, and that it was hard to stay hydrated. But Tank's 3-sack game, I think, was primarily because he got to take a bunch of snaps against Evan Neal, the Alabama right tackle, former Alabama right tackle. It was a first-round pick that I would have lost a lot of money if you said, who's going to start better, Evan Neal or Tyler Smith? I would have lost money because I would have said Evan Neal, and it ain't going that way. That dude's getting wrecked every single week. And if you're a dude that gets wrecked every week, Tank will wreck you.
And I'm not saying that Tank isn't a good player, but it also helps when you get a bunch of one-on-one coverage every single time you line up. Like that, 100, like you just do the percentages. If we're playing 65 snaps and for 55 of those, I have one-on-one, I got to win a lot of those shows. I got to win a lot of those matchups.
I got to go back to something about Wentz because I forgot to say it. And now I haven't taken my ADHD meds in the last 4 hours, and I'm already forgetting where I was going with it. I had a thing about Carson. Oh, yeah. Just it's the overall theme of Carson Wentz. If there were a way to bet, and I guess I could have just bet on the Eagles last week, but if there were a way to bet that, hey, what game do you think for sure Carson Wentz is going to suck? I would say his game being back in this division against his former team in this division, the Eagles. Like Carson, and I'm allowed to say this, okay? As a man in therapy, I'm allowed to say this. Carson Wentz is the most clear example at quarterback in the NFL of a dude that just needs a sports psychologist.
Yes.
That can we work on what's here? Because I would have bet anything that when he went to play Philly as the quarterback of the Commanders, that he would play like ass. Because I think the higher stakes, the bigger, well, Kirk Cousins is probably an example of this too. Like the more pressure you're putting on yourself or thinking, man, this is a game where I really want to show, that's what Carson Wentz is going to do. Commanders, by the way, this is the teams with, this is yards per play this year. The worst in the league. This will not be true anymore because of last night. But going into last night, Bengals were worst in the league in yards per play at 4.5. Steelers and Texans at 4.7. And at 4.8, the Commanders, the Cardinals, the Bucks, and the Colts. That's like 4.8 is awful, but it is funny that Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, and Kyler Murray are also that bad this year so far. But the Washington Commanders do not present much of a threat on offense, except for what Jesse said earlier. Like Carson Wentz is talented. Jahan Dotson has scored 3 touchdowns in his first 3 games as an NFL rookie. Curtis Samuel is having a nice start to a year as a receiver, and he's the only dude that when they hand it to can actually get something done. And Terry McLaurin's good as hell.
Yeah.
And yet, the interior offensive line sucks. Carson Wentz is kind of a whack job. It doesn't really come together, but it can for stretches and at times. So the Cowboys just got to do what they've been doing and just play good defense. Dirk, what's up with Chase Young? He's having a hard time coming back from his ACL. Nice not having to face him. Yeah, he's not eligible to come back until next week. So you won't be dealing with Chase Young. But still, that's another part. Okay, so another part of this Washington team. Their secondary's been bad to start the year. Their linebackers aren't good. Maybe Jamin Davis will be good one day. But still, on that D-line, Montez Sweat's a good player. Jonathan Allen's a good player. Deron Payne is a good player. There's a chance that this team can slow you down running the ball without putting all the resources into it and saying, hey, Cooper Rush, you're going to have to beat us. And I guess I'm just saying that to illustrate that I look at this team as bad enough that I expect the Cowboys to beat them, but I will not be surprised if it goes the other way. I think the Cowboys will win, but don't get too cocky. You're not allowed to get too cocky in a division game when your backup quarterback is playing. Like, you're going to have to earn it.
Yeah.
He said, nah, not really. They suck.
They suck. Like when you watch it, and again, like the mystifying thing to me is what you just said. Like 5 first rounders on that defense. 5 first round picks on that defense. The names are there. The names are written. Hey, the names are written on the roster. There's factual. Like if you just started taking name for name, you're like, holy moly guacamole, like the names are there. And one of the reasons why they're having trouble in the back end is because those guys were solely dependent upon getting the pressure up front from that front seven. I mean, there was a point in time that the Washington Commanders front seven was one of the best, at least their front line was arguably one of the best in the league.
I mean, when you had Chase Young to the 3 I gave you, like that's a good front.
Like they had one of the best, most terrifying fronts that you would ever see. And so again, that also plays a part in, I don't have to have the second iteration of Darrelle Revis in the back, these guys up front are getting so much pressure. One of the reasons why, here's one of the reasons why he will take a hit, especially Trayvon Diggs and all these interceptions, because the ball ain't going down the field like that much anymore. It's coming out so quick. Like it's coming out quick because teams are now so afraid of the pressure that they're getting from our front, and mainly Micah Parsons being the lead dog in that. But I watched the tape and I watched these games and I'm like, oh yeah, Montez Sweat. Oh yeah, these are dudes. And it just hasn't come together at all. I don't know what's the reason. That is the most head-scratching thing, saying if we're just going by names and talent and draft status, they have a bunch of dudes who can play, just not coming together. I don't know if it's coaching. I know Carson Wentz is a whack job, but it's again, whatever God that you pray to, just pray that for this one game, it doesn't click.
Yeah.
On any side of the ball.
Yeah. Because there's talent there. They got talent for sure.
Like, I don't want please, God, please don't put Forniak out there. He's gonna have a hell of a day. If you put Forniak out there and he had to deal with the Payne boys and the Allen boys, he's gonna struggle. Like, just go ahead and put Jason Peters out there and let's just move forward with this thing. Let's not leave the door open for anything like that. Like, just shut it, put Forniak on the side unless you need him in case of emergency, break glass in case of emergency, because he'll struggle. Like, Forniak will get big boyed if he has to deal with those guys up front.
Jason Peters has old man strength.
I don't even want to create that atmosphere of, somebody getting pushed in the backfield or getting whooped on the line of scrimmage, and now we create some bull crap, and anything can happen in this game. So, let's just eliminate that opportunity from happening and don't put Forniak out there.
Okay, I got a stat for you. Guessing game for Jesse Holley. Does Jesse know football? When Jason Peters was in the game, how many yards per carry did the Cowboys get?
14.8.
13.3. I mean, his first snap was a 45-yard run for Pollard, but 7 carries while he was in for 93 yards. And when Jason Peters was not in, 23 carries for 83 yards. So they were getting 10 more yards per carry when he was in the game.
Yeah, I took that stat and I put it on. I put it in italic bold print. I put it on a piece of paper and I march it up to the room of Philbin. I march it up to the room of Kellen Moore. I march it up to the room of Mike McCarthy, and I go, "This is the only stat that I'm going to give you guys. Let it resonate in your mind and do the right thing."
Yeah, Jason, you're going to start this game at left guard, and until you do this, you're going. Until you tap that helmet, it's your show.
And even if you do this, we're going to bang a timeout. Okay? We're going
breathe. Here you go. Get you some water. Get back out there.
We're going to bang one of these. You know what I mean? And then we'll get back in there and go.
The one thing that I wanted to bring up today also about the Cowboys defense, and it's kind of one of these, I just want to tell myself how smart I am, is coming into this year, the Cowboys were never going to replicate the number of turnovers they forced a year ago because it just doesn't go that way. That's just not how it works. Trayvon Diggs could have had 3 picks last week, and I'm surprised that he dropped 2 picks. It's not like him. But you were never going to replicate that. But I did think coming into this year, as they grew together and guys got more experience, that down in and down out, they'd be better than a year ago. So, were you going to lead the league in takeaways? Probably not. But down in and down out, could you be a better defense than a year ago? Yeah. And so far this year, it's a nerd stat, but by DVOA, instead of being 8th or whatever they were last year, currently the Cowboys are the second best defense in football. And instead of it being we force all the turnovers, it's now, I was about to say the F word, we F your quarterback up. We get after your quarterback, and we got dudes that can make this work. And so they're doing it in a different way, but your defense has been on point without even really forcing the turnovers. And you're getting after the quarterback. Your punt returns, I believe, are currently averaging 16 yards per with Kevontae Turpin. So, like, they're doing all the little things right. They're playing good. What's that?
I was going to say, and by the way, my special teams nerd kind of stat, because that's what I lived on special. Like, you don't understand how big that is. Like, 60. A great punt return is 10 yards.
Yeah.
Like
8 or 9 is not good. 10 or 11 is really good. 16 is absurd, and he's going to break one.
Like a special team coach will tell you, if you can get 10 yards every time you return a punt, that is a first down. We have started our drive excellently. That's what they want. We want 10 yards. If we can average 10 yards a return, that will put you tops in the National Football League in. So, yeah.
Cowboys 23, Commanders 17 is what I'm going with. They do enough. They get after Wentz enough. The offense scores just enough, and they get it done one more time. Jesse?
Yeah, I got Cowboys 21, Commanders 13. I think this defense again pads its stats. I think you see another 5+ sack game, and maybe some more infighting amongst the Commanders on the sideline again.
Well, I mean, they can't, like, there's Antonio Gibson is their actual running back, right? Curtis Samuel, I think, has like 9 or 10 carries this year, so they'll do bits with him, and he has run the ball well when he gets it handed to him. But they're getting 3 yards per carry with their running back. Their passing game is 3 picks through 3 games. They take a bunch of sacks. Just don't screw it up. Don't screw it up, boys.
And Kellen Moore, don't revert back. Just continue on the path that you've been on. You've done a good job these last 2 weeks. Please
let the quarterback hand it to Pollard instead of doing 6 people before he gets it.
Yeah, and make sure we're handing it to him on the edges. We're not running in the A gaps anymore. Like, let's stop that. Let's get the ball on the edges. Let's get Tyler Smith pulling. Let's get those 12 personnel sets, those 2 tight ends out there, and let's just methodically work your way down the field. Find the guys on dig routes. Find guys on option routes. Find guys on slants. Hey, every now and again, throw a YOLO up there.
See if CD can catch it.
We're Gallup. Go ahead. Oh, that's another thing. If Michael Gallup plays this week, which we all assume that he will, but we'll see.
McCarthy assumes that he will, but they thought he was going to play last week too. But I think he'll play this week.
I think off the gate, right? Give him a smoke screen. Just boom, 1 step, give him the ball. Just let him touch the football.
Let him get hit.
Let him get hit. Let him see if he can make a move. Let him just find a way to take that anxiety off of, can I still do this live in the game? It's going to be pressure. I'm at home. Just give him the football. Just find a way. Don't jet sweep him, please. God, don't jet sweep him. Just let him run a smoke screen. No, I don't need another receiver over there. Just let him run a smoke screen and just feel the football early in the football game. If that guy is pressed, fine. Run a go. And just throw it to him or out of bounds, but just let him feel it. Let them know.
And let them know we will.
We will. Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Dalton Schultz should be back too. Maybe partially because them little rookies were blocking pretty good last week and playing decent football. And he's going to be like, hold on, let me get back in here, get my catches. I got a paycheck that I got to go earn in this offseason because they're damn sure not going to pay me because they got you two. So let me get back in there and get some catches. Anything else, Jesse?
Just quickly, man. I want to say thoughts and prayers to the Escobar family. Former Dallas Cowboys tight end Gavin Escobar found deceased yesterday in what to be an apparent rock climbing accident. Gavin played here with the Cowboys for 4 years and other teams across the league, and then went on to be a firefighter. Talk about something that's admirable and honorable, right? Just to go to serve your community. And I asked myself last night, could you be a firefighter, Jesse? Like, literally every time you're called, you're going into a situation where you're rushing into danger and can possibly cost you your life. And I think that the biggest thing people don't know about just athletes is that when we're done playing the game, we're always trying to find something to give us that rush, to give us that commitment, to give us that feeling that we had when we left the game. And I don't know if rock climbing gave that to him. If it, we're always looking for the next challenge. Like that is what has driven us this far. We're always trying to find the next challenge, and it's unfortunate that that was his challenge, his way of going to release or going to just find himself mentally. Those things that just they need to be done for us. It's tragic that that happened, and so I'm praying for his wife and his two little girls that he left behind. And yeah, man, you just never know when that day is going to be your day. So live every day with love, with joy, with kindness, and to the max, and really to the max, man. And for me, it's always eliminate the contingencies.
Positive vibes to the Escobar family and all of his people. And remember, and thanks to Bet Online for presenting Believe in Cowboys. And remember that you have no idea what anybody's going through. So be cool to everybody.